Welcome to Microsoft Excel with EJD. In this video, we'll be talking about lookup functions in Excel. Lookup functions in Excel actually allow you to search for specific data in a table or range and return corresponding values from other cells. They are fundamental for data analysis, reporting, and automation, especially when working with large data sets. So in this case, I want to work with this product and supplier data set in Excel. Um, so we have the products in sheet one. Okay, let me try to expand that. Okay, so we have product ID, product name, category, price, stock level, supplier ID. As usual, I like to do some uh, easy formatting. So Control A, for instance, I highlight all, and then okay, everything is centralized right now. That's fine. But let me use all borders. Then for the product name, for instance, let's make it such that the product names are not centralized. They are just left justified. So, yeah, this way. Okay, so let me see if I can adjust this a bit. I think everything is fine now. Right. So we have a product sheet where we have the product ID, the product name. For instance, the first product is the ID is P0001 and the name is Oakwood Dining Table. The category is furniture. The price is 10.68. The stock level is 23. That means we have 23 of that item. And then the supplier ID. So the supplier ID is S5. So, and that takes us to the supplier table, the supplier sheet that is, and so it means that supplier ID for the first product is actually oak and iron interiors, and they're in the western region, so to speak. So let's highlight. Let me also do some formatting here. All borders, first of all, and do we need to centralize? Let's centralize everything first. Okay, centralized, and then I can make this not centralized, the supplier names. Okay, so we have the supplier sheet here. So supplier one with supplier IDS one is both Edge Electronics in the West and so on and so forth. The last supplier is S10 Everwood Living Corporation in the southern region of a fictitious country, so to speak. So that's that. So that's what we'll be using in this situation, right? And just like we know, just like we've seen, lookup functions allow us to search for specific data in a table, right? And then or range and return corresponding values from other cells. Now, moving on, we talk about VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP is actually vertical lookup. So, and vertical lookup actually searches for a value in the first column of a table. So it searches for a value in the first column of a table and returns a value in the same row from another table. For instance, if I just to do a VLOOKUP, I just type is equal to VLOOKUP. Okay. So if I pick VLOOKUP now, okay, now you can see we have lookup value. So I'll indicate the lookup value. Okay, and the lookup value is the value you want to search for. So maybe you want to search for product name, product ID, or category or price or anything. So VLOOKUP, so you choose the value. Then table array. Table array is a range of cells that contains the data, that data itself. For instance, if I'm talking about product ID, I'm looking at the array is the product ID array. That's like A2 to A101, I believe. So that's the table array. And then next, you have the column index number. The column index number is the column number in the table from which to retrieve the value. So you specify the column, and then you end up with a range lookup. So this is optional. And here you use true for approximate match. So if you want an approximate match, you use true, which is the default, or you use false if you want exact match of that which you want to do. That is what VLOOKUP does. So let's quickly try some VLOOKUP things. So okay, let me also expand this. Okay, do I need to go back? Okay, yeah, let me remove this. I'm not ready for this now. So, and at least since you're used to that, I can just I have most of these things already done here. So for VLOOKUP now we have VLOOKUP. For instance, you want to get product name. You want to get product name from product ID. For instance, you see the product IDs are here. So you want to look up the product name by using the product ID. So from the product ID column, you want to make reference to the product name column, right? So for instance, looking at this now, we have VLOOKUP P0025. That is the product with ID 0025. Then from the range of products now, from the product table. So this is the product table starting from A2 to the end. Control N takes us to F101. That's the range. So control home, A1, control N takes us to the end. So that's how you know your range. So control home gives us A1, control N gives us F101. So that's the range. So from A1 to one F101. So here, and then we have false, meaning that we want exact match. And then these two actually tells us we are getting this from the second column. So it means whatever we are getting is coming from the second column of this table. So, and as a result of that, by the time you do this, all right, you get Fisher Price laugh and learn puppy. So P007. So if to confirm that, you see P0070, that is P0070. That's the 70th item. Oh, okay. I think something is not right here. P0. Oh, yeah, this is P0025, not 70. Okay. P0025 back home. Yeah, P0025. Yeah. So the product ID is P0025, and this is Fisher Price Laugh and Learn Puppy. It belongs to the toys category. The price is 5.28. But what we just need is based on that ID, what is the product name, right? Now, this is particularly useful because VLOOKUPs are generally are useful if you have a large data set and you don't have time to start searching for one thing. So you can quickly just do this, like, okay, product ID 0025. What is the name of the product? So you have Fisher Price Laugh and Learn Puppy. Then what if you want to get the price by using the product ID? So in that case, now it means you are looking up. So if you look at this here, so VLOOKUP product 0.0070, that's the product ID here. Then you want to get the price of that product. So in that case now, the price is in the fourth column, I believe. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So the price is in the fourth column, and that is why we have this 4 here. And false, you want something exact. So so if you press enter now, you get the price 70.49, right? Get price by product ID. That's product 0070, 0070. So the price is 70.49, like right here. Okay. Then you go next to, now you need to get product name for product ID P002. It's just like what we did initially. So you want product name for product ID P002. So you just say VLOOKUP P0002 products. Now, since you're referring to another sheet, right? So you have products exclamation A2 to F101, and the product names are in column 2 and false because you need the exact thing. That's Samsung 55 inches QLED TV. So if you come back and look at P002, okay, P002, of course, that's Samsung 55 inches QLED TV. Okay, what if you want to get the supplier? Now you want to get the supplier region only if product 9 is in stock. So this is conditional now. You need supplier region only if product 9 is in stock. So you want to check first that product 9 is in stock. Now, if it is in stock, you want to check the region the supplier is in to see if it's, I mean, for whatever reason you may want to do that. So look at what you do. So since it is conditional now, you need an if statement. In the last video, we talked about logical state functions in Excel. So we saw the if statement right there. So you now say if VLOOKUP P009, that's the product 9, P009, if it's greater than 0, if you have the product, if it's greater than 0, right? So that is, you have at least one item of product 9. Then you can now do XLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, P009. Okay, I'm already mixing everything up here, but it's fine. I'm still going to talk about XLOOKUP and all that. And then you now tell us if it's, so if that is available now. So if it's greater than 0, so you have XLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, P009 products, A2 to this. 6 false, and then by the time you do that, it gives us east. Okay, so press enter, and that gives us east. Now, we want to get stock level for product ID P0010. Okay, so we just say VLOOKUP P0010 products in that range, in the whole range, and then column 5. That's where you have the stock. Yeah, the stock level. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and that's product 10, right? So product 10, we have 15 in stock, and that's why the answer here is 15. Then get category for product ID P004. So you have VLOOKUP P004, then products in the whole range, in column 3, false. Then you have clothing. So let's see P004. That's Nike dry fit t-shirt and belongs to clothing. So the category is clothing. Then get supplier ID for product ID P006. That's S10, so that's VLOOKUP P006 products in that range, column 6 false. So you get the supplier ID, that's product 6. Okay, product 6, the supplier is S10, and that is, of course, if you wanted to confirm that, the supplier S10 is Everwood Living Corporation in the southern region. Okay, then you can also handle errors. So sometimes some things may not be found. Instead of just having a blank, you could actually make it such that if there is error, if it's not found, so you just say if error VLOOKUP. Maybe you're looking for item 0123, which doesn't exist, by the way, because we have just 100 items, right? So we have up to P0100. Okay, so if you're looking for what does not exist, so you can just have if error VLOOKUP P0123, products in that range. 2, then if it doesn't, it's false. If that thing is not there, then it should just give us not found. And that's why we have not found right here. So that's that about VLOOKUP. Now, let's go back to where we started from. Now, now that we are done with VLOOKUPs, right? Let's look at some comments. Of course, what the limitations of VLOOKUP will include things like it only works when lookup values are in the first column. So if lookup values are in the first column, then it can work. Then it cannot look left of the lookup column. All right, so it can only look right. Then it is slower on very large data sets, and it is susceptible to errors if the data isn't sorted correctly in approximate mode. So you have to sort things correctly. Then that takes us to horizontal lookup. That's HLOOKUP. So the purpose is to search for a value in the first row. You're searching for a value in the first row of a table and returns a value in the same column from another row. So search for a value in the first row of a table and returns a value in the same column for another row. So in this case now, okay, if we assume we are using HLOOKUP here, so we just have HLOOKUP, HLOOKUP. So if I pick this, okay, so we have the lookup value, the value to search for in the top row, okay, and then we have the table array, the range of cells that contains the data, the range of cells that contains the data. Then we have the table, the row index number, the row number from which to return a value, and we have the range lookup, true for approximate match or false for exact match. So let's say we want HLOOKUP, and we want for product, say P0050. Okay, close the brackets. Close the quotation, and then that's from. So the next thing is table array, the whole table. That's like so since we are on the same sheet, we don't have to use that referencing we did the other time. So we just have A2 to F101. Okay, and then we say so now we just go for false. Say false because we want exact match. Press enter. So okay, this is giving us no value because, or do I have to pay attention to the P exactly the way it is? Okay, still no value. Okay, A2, yeah, F101 false. Okay, that doesn't still give any value. Okay, so okay, yeah, one more thing I did not indicate now. So let's say I'm looking for the the stock level, for instance. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So I need to put 5, comma this and press enter. Okay, that's not available. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I think the deal is it searches for a value in the first row, for a value in the first row of a table and returns, okay, it has to be the first row. So what if I use 0001, 0001? Okay, so 0001, and then so it goes down to look at, so in the fifth, so the result is coming from the fifth row. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is not making any sense except if we invert the table. So I'm going to copy this now. Just going to copy this. I have transposed this table in the next sheet. So it's exactly the same thing there, but I've transposed it. So if I just come here and do the VLOOKUP, I can put it anywhere. So the VLOOKUP in this case now I have so in the first column, so I have P00. Okay, now the reference is not in order. So of course now we now have it from B1 at home. Okay, it has to start from B1 and then we go to the end, which is okay, because I typed something there, which is B1 to CW6 home. So I have this. The reference is B1 to CW6. Then what do we want for that? For let's say we want the price. The price is in the fourth row. So I have 4 and I press enter. So it gives us this price here. So it's like I'm looking for the price of the I'm looking for the price of the product with ID 0001. That's basically what that is. But of course, we have something more elaborate right here. But don't forget, it is the transposition. Like in case you don't understand what I did to get this, let me let this go now. So control home, control, okay, I control A, right? So I press control C. So to get it transposed this way, you just come here and then you right click and this is normal paste, this is paste only values, this is paste functions, and this is transpose the pasting. So transpose what you have copied. So I paste this, so it will give us this transpose form. So that's what has happened there. So let's look at some other lookups. Let's look at HLOOKUPs in this case now. So for instance, we look at the category of products P005. By the way, it's P005 in row 1. Yeah, it is in row 1. So P005. So we want the category. Of course, we know that is furniture, right? So for the lookup, we just say okay, we have HLOOKUP P0005 transposed from B1 to CW6 because we need the category. We go to 3 and then we say false because we want the exact. So it gives us furniture. So get the price of product P002. So P002 transposed for 4 is the 4. That's fourth row now because we're talking horizontal. In the other case, it was this number indicated columns for VLOOKUP, but now it indicates row. So product P002, the price, P002, the price, of course, is 37176, like we have now. Then get stock level of product P008. We have, so this now we have P008 and then fifth row, and we have 54. So we have 54 of that product available. Get supplier ID of product P0094. So we have HLOOKUP P0094 transpose, and in row 6 now we get the supplier ID. So 0094, let's check that out. 0094. So it goes far on the horizontal. Okay, 0094. What do we need for that? That's this supplier ID 0094. The supplier ID is S2, just like we have right here. And then get the product name for product P0099. So P0099, the supplier, the product name is the Midnight Library. So we have the Midnight Library here, using that HLOOKUP. All right. So that's that about the HLOOKUP. Now we move on to the next one. Okay, of course, let's look at some limitations for HLOOKUP. It only works when lookup values are in the first row. So just like VLOOKUP only happens, it only works for first column, like we saw the other time, when what you are looking up is in the first column. But now this one, when what you are looking for is in the only works when lookup values are in the first row, and it cannot look above the lookup row. It only looks down, look below. Same limitations as VLOOKUP regarding range and direction. Okay, so then we can go on to talk about XLOOKUP, which is the modern replacement for these things, for the HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP. So it was introduced in Excel 365 and Excel 2019 Plus. XLOOKUP overcomes the limitations of both VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. And the purpose is that it searches a range or array for a match and returns the corresponding value from another range or array. So it just searches across it. So it's not fixated on one like what we had the other time. So the syntax is something like this. Okay, let me come here, back here. Now we are talking about XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP equals XLOOKUP. Okay. So if I click this, or I think we have an information even here, searches a range or an array for a match and returns the corresponding item from a second array or array. By default, an exact match is used. So if you click this now, so we have the lookup value. That is what you're looking for. And the lookup array is the range or column to search in. So here now you can search, so it's range or column. Then the return array is the range or column to return from. So the first one is what you're searching from. The other one is where you're returning from. Then if not found, you have an if not found condition, which is optional now. Value to return if no match is found. So you say something if no match is found. So this one comes automatically. Then you have the match mode, which is optional. So 0 is exact match, -1 is exact or next smaller, 1 is exact or next larger, 2 is wildcard match. And then finally you have the search mode, which is optional too. So 1 means search first to last. -1 is search last to first. So it looks like the idea in Python, when you do -1, you're counting from the back, right? So let's imagine that. So in this case now, this doesn't have to start from first column or any column. You can pick any random thing you want. For instance, I want to search for I want to search for 10. Okay, I mean, not to waste time, let me go to the lookups page straight up. Okay. So for XLOOKUP now, you want to get stock level using product name. So stock level using product name. So you just do XLOOKUP, and then you're looking for rustic wooden bed frame within the product range. So this is where you're searching from. And then you know that. So in this case, now you don't need all the number 5, number 3 we're doing the other time. So you just need the particular range where you want to retrieve something from. So here now we're looking for stock level using product name. So the first range is the product range. Like you see, that's B2 to B100. So that's the product range. And then where you are retrieving result from is the product, what's that now? Is the stock level, yeah? So for stock level, you have that'll be E2 to E101, and that's exactly what we are doing here. So this one is very versatile. You don't need to start from first row, from the only first column, like for V lookup, or first row for H lookup. Here you can just start from anywhere. So we have this now. So, and by the time you press enter, you see that so the product called rustic wooden bed frame. We have 17 of it in stock, right? So the product name is wooden. Where is it now? Okay, I can just look for W. Okay, Control Z now. Okay, sorry, Control Z. Okay, so Control F. Wooden. Okay, let me just find, right? So you can press Control F to find. So we have wooden, or I can just even use wood. Okay. Okay, there are many wood stuff. Yeah. No, not oak wood, pine wood, rustic wooden bed frame. Exactly. Okay. And we see that we have 17 of that in stock, actually. So coming back here now, you want to get supplier region. get supplier region for supplier ID from supplier ID. So you give the supplier ID and you want to get region from that. So you don't have to start from the first row, first column. So now you can see the lookup. The first array, you're looking for S5, right? Uh, so you want to get the region of this fifth supplier. So you go for the suppliers range. So you are using two sheets now. So suppliers from A2 to A2 to A11 like this. So you see the suppliers now. So you have A2 to A11, as you can see here. Okay. And then from there, we also want to now see the region of the supplier. And the regions are on C2 to C11, I believe. Yeah. Okay. The supplier range is from C2 to C11, this last one right here. Okay. So, and once that is done, you see that the result is West. So supplier S5, as you can see already. Now it's easy to just look at this because everything is just short. But if you have a very large data set, you'll appreciate this more. So oak and iron interiors, they're in the West. Okay, and lastly, let's talk about a two-way lookup. So you want to look for product name. So given a product name, you want to get the supplier of that product. So we are working with two different sheets on the product table, the product sheet and the supplier's sheet, or we can even, yeah, like that, the product table and the supplier's table. So here now we say XLOOKUP. So it's like multiple stuff now. So XLOOKUP, so you want to get the product name, right? So it's more like basically you can even do XLOOKUP mango high waist trousers. All right. From the product table, you now want to get so you want to get so based on that product name now, then you are matching it with the suppliers because the suppliers are in the F column right here. So the suppliers are in the F column. So you do the first layer of, we said it's reverse lookup, right? So you do, okay, I mean, we say it's two-way lookup. So you do the first layer of lookup by getting mango high waist trousers. And you get this. So first of all, you get the supplier ID, and since you're still going to connect it with the supplier sheet. So next, once you get the supplier ID for this now, so this helps you to get the supplier ID for mango high waist trousers, right? And for mango high waist trousers, okay, okay, let me check Control F now. Mango. Yeah, that's P0077. And the supplier is supplier 3, right? So what this first part does for you is to retrieve the supplier 3. And then you now do another lookup with supplier 3. And you're checking out the supplier in the supplier table. So, suppliers A2 to A11, that's where you have supplier 3 now. And you're retrieving the name of the supplier. And that is why the answer is Tech Next into Innovations. So if I come here, supplier 3 is actually Tech Next Innovations, right? So that's that about about XLOOKUP. So the advantages now, as you can see already, the fact that you're not restricted to any row or column. So you can look left or right, unlike VLOOKUP, and it works with vertical and horizontal data. It returns exact matches by default. So you don't need to specify whether it should be default or not. And it can return arrays like multiple values. And it is more intuitive and robust for modern Excel tasks. Okay. So that's the deal about the about XLOOKUP. But then we have an alternative, we have a flexible alternative to to VLOOKUP and that is called it's called the index plus match. Index plus match. That is a good alternative to VLOOKUP. So we can always use that. Okay, I'll just quickly run through this. So if you want to use index plus match instead of VLOOKUP, so for instance, you want to get price of a product using product ID, you can just come here and just say index product ID, product ID from product ID from D2. Okay. D2 to D101. We want price. Okay. Because one price. So we are looking for, so you go first, you have the price range, this is the price range, and then you're matching that price range with the product ID. So you want price for product ID 0042. So you can do this and then you retrieve it from the So this one, you have A2 to A101. That's the whole range now. So you are retrieving product ID 002 in the whole range. All right, and you're matching it with the product price. And if you do that, you get 27715. So 0042, if you go for that, you get the price just like what we have there. Okay, that is 27715. So here now there's no lookup. We're just doing index and match. Index plus match is what we're using together. So same, if you want to do reverse lookup, you want to get product ID, all right, from product name. Okay. So instead of product name from product ID, you can do product ID from product name. So you want so index now, you get from the product range A2 to A101, and you're matching with Lego Classic Brick Set. Okay. So that automatically gives you, so from the product name now you get the product ID 0088. Of course, we've done something like this previously. It's a bonus, like a conditional lookup like we did before. So you do VLOOKUP like twice, and then you do conditional statement with it. So return supplier name only if product is in stock. It's just like what we did the other time when we are able to get the you are getting the product, the region supplier region only if product 9 is in stock, something like that. So that's what we're doing here. We are returning supplier name only if product is in stock. So here, VLOOKUP product 03, if it's available, that at least we have one of that item, and then you do, so you now do another XLOOKUP with the VLOOKUP here, and then it gives you that, okay, the supplier name is Page Turner Publishing Corporation. So that's what that is as far as lookup is concerned. So let's look at a kind of comparison table. For instance, a comparison summary table. I think I should have put that on here, but it's okay. So for direction, now VLOOKUP is vertical, HLOOKUP is horizontal, XLOOKUP is both vertical and horizontal. Match type, VLOOKUP is approximate and exact. It's optional. The HLOOKUP is approximate or exact based on specification, but XLOOKUP is exact by default, right? Lookup direction. VLOOKUP is right only, HLOOKUP is below only, while XLOOKUP is any direction. So for array return, there's no array return with VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, but you can have array return with XLOOKUP. Then, apart from that, talking about wildcard support, it's limited for VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, but it's always available for XLOOKUP. Then you have error handling. So VLOOKUP needs if error, HLOOKUP needs if error, whereas XLOOKUP is built in. So if there's an error, it will automatically return it. Then the performance, VLOOKUP is medium, HLOOKUP is medium, but XLOOKUP is high. So XLOOKUP, so you can as well just ditch VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP because XLOOKUP does all the job they should normally do. Okay, so that's a comparison. So practical use cases for all these things, just like I've said, you can use this for inventory management. You can find the stock level of a product. You can do it for student grading system where you match student names to scores. You can have employee directory where you retrieve contact details using employee ID. You can have sales analysis where you look up quarterly sales figures. You can have dynamic dashboards like Power KPIs and visuals with dynamic lookups. So tips and best practices. You can use named ranges for clarity, just like we've been doing. For backward compatibility, VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP are still useful in legacy files, but prefer XLOOKUP in modern spreadsheets for clarity, power, and flexibility. Use index match as an alternative to VLOOKUP if XLOOKUP is not available. All right. If you cannot use XLOOKUP, then you go for index match. So, but if you use the most advanced form of Excel, XLOOKUP takes care of all these troubles. In conclusion, you see that lookup functions are very essential tools in Excel that streamline data retrieval and improve automation. While VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP have served users well for decades, XLOOKUP is the superior modern alternative that offers unmatched flexibility and efficiency for data-driven tasks. So get using lookups today to retrieve the kind of whatever kind of information you need. So with this, we come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for listening. Let me know how helpful this is for you. And if there's something you'd like me to try out, feel free to let me know also. If you have subscribed already, thank you so much. If you haven't, please go ahead and subscribe and be sure to hit the notification bell so you can always get alerted each time a new video is released. On my channel, you can become a member at 3 different levels. So just click on join and you see the different levels of membership you can join, and let's have a nice time together. Don't forget to like and share so that more people can have access to this video and other videos on this channel. Till I come your way again, keep doing data right. Bye.